Hi everyone, it's Chris. Welcome to Firms Consulting channel. As our clients prepare for case interviews, I wanted to offer some perspective. The first thing to remember is it is not what the consultant wants to do. Let's begin by acknowledging that conducting a case interview is not a pleasant experience for an interviewer in most cases. It is not why people become strategy consultants. The greatest case interviewer does not necessarily become an engagement manager, let alone a partner. When a consultant is being assessed every few months, their phenomenal case interview skills will not save them from mediocre engagement feedback. Running a case interview is not what the consultant wants to do. It is not why a consultant is primarily rewarded and promoted. The very best consultants are unlikely to be conducting interviews in the first place. They would be with clients. Case interviews take consultants away from engagement teams and away from clients. No client ever uttered the words, I respect Amy because she flew to Boston for 2 days to conduct MBA interviews. To a client who is engaged in consulting interviews, it is a distraction and it is not a cost that they want to bear. The next thing I want you to remember is that consultants will want to use cases that they know. Consultants are tired, consultants are behind schedule, they are overworked and they are overwhelmed. Consultants do not have sufficient time to prepare. If a consultant could do it, they would spend all the time working on client work and never prepare for a case interview. They would simply create a case interview based on something they know, some previous engagement. Another thing to keep in mind is that a failed case interview is not always your fault. Companies expect responses immediately. An interviewer is not supposed to read and respond to emails, but it is bound to happen. An interviewer should be able to multitask if they choose to read and respond to emails, but interviewers are tired and sleep deprived. They often may miss things or not hear something you said in an interview. Interviewers would rather fail you than admit they made a mistake. Can you think of any situation where an interviewer admitted they actually made a mistake during a case interview? Interviewers should take the time to help you. They should give you the benefit of the doubt. They should have no prejudices. They should not discriminate against gender, race, schools, and other forms of pedigree. But interviewers are human. They do and they will. I mention this because too many clients only focus on themselves in a case study interview and assume the interviewer is a perfect person who is totally focused on them and with a razor-sharp intellect. They are not. They are only human, and even if the day they meet you is a very good day for them, they still will most likely make some mistakes. Let's talk about defensive case interview techniques. Knowing all of the things that we discussed, you need to practice defensive case interview techniques. Like defensive driving, in this approach, you expect the worst and run the case interview by taking charge to help the interviewer help you. If the interviewer is in a bad mood, take charge of the energy in the room and keep things pleasant, conversational, and moving along. Listen to how Asel managed a tough McKinsey interviewer in the final session with Asel, which we made available, at least temporarily, on our YouTube channel to help you with your case interview preparation. I will link in the description below. Knowing how busy and unprepared most interviewers are, take the time to speak clearly and offer your assumptions and inferences versus waiting for the interviewer to guide you. Do not be thrown off by an interviewer who is checking emails, typing emails, or eating lunch. They are human. They should not, but it is far worse to have a consultant suffering from a low blood sugar in an interview. Because if things go wrong, they will blame you. Make it pleasant for the interviewer. Make sure they can read your exhibits. Help them understand your thinking by offering succinct explanations and offering them options. Answer their questions. Don't give them what a case book told you to give them if it does not answer their question. I can sum this up by saying treat interviewers as if they are human, which they are, of course. They are not perfectly programmed robots who do everything correctly. And the same advice applies to you. Every client tries to avoid a mistake, and should clients make a mistake, they act like the case interview is over and they have failed, and therefore there is no point to go any further. Try this approach. Rather than practicing to avoid a mistake, practice what you will do when you will make a mistake. You should not apologize because it doesn't do anything. It's not helpful, but rather focus on immediately fixing it and moving on. Assume you will make a mistake. Accept this and have a plan. You will rarely be failed for a mistake unless the mistake is truly obvious, you did not spot it yourself, and you failed to correct it when it was pointed out to you. 3 minutes spent apologizing is 3 minutes wasted. 3 minutes wasted not solving a case. Leaders don't take the time to belittle themselves. They act. Don't worry so much about marked mistakes as well. While consulting firms usually point them out when offering feedback, because it's an easy thing to point out, far more clients fall due to lack of proper structures, critical thinking, judgment, and fit. Your job is not to pass the case study interview. Your job is not to solve the case. Many interviewees will achieve this goal and fail to get an offer. Your task is to make this such a pleasant experience for the interviewer that you will leave them with no doubt that they want to work with you and that you can be placed in front of any client. You can only do this if you take the time to think about the interviewer as a person. It's not about you. You may not even complete the case, yet you could still easily obtain an offer if you prove you have the skills to think critically. Communication, MISI, 80-20, hypothesis, prioritized branches are like ingredients. If you have the perfect ingredients but assemble them in the wrong way, you will have a bad dish. So take the time to learn how to use them conversationally versus just ticking the boxes off as you use them. Always remember that many things lie outside of your control. Firms and offices are driven by economics. If an office can only afford to hire 3 people and 6 people were exceptional, unless the firm found a way to defy the laws of economics, only 3 people will be hired. Overall hiring numbers are driven less by case performance and more by the general economic environment. There is a reason consulting firms hire more in strong economic environments and hire less and fire more during weak economic growth. So you can be phenomenal, but they could have been someone better. These things happen. Everyone will learn at their own pace with their own level of commitment. Some clients do well with little preparation. This is because they already think in this critical reasoning format and generally speak well. Others need more time, and that is fine. Some clients are very good but lack confidence and need the interviewer to constantly affirm they are going in the right direction. This is what hurts their chances. I know many McKinsey partners who did not get in on the first chance. I know many people who chose not to join the firm after obtaining an offer. And I know many whose lives did not materially change after they joined. Good, talented people will always excel. They may end up on a different path, but they will get there. Solving cases requires critical reasoning skills. The same way you only need to solve a few math problems to understand a concept, you don't need to necessarily practice 100 plus cases. If you are doing that, you are probably memorizing frameworks. And it is far more efficient to learn how to build frameworks from first principles, the way we teach you. If this were not true, every great mathematician and scientist would be memorizing the answers to every type of question. They don't, and neither should you. If you found this message useful, you will find our advanced training episodes very helpful. To get sample episodes, go to firmsconsulting.com/promo and enter your email and your name, and we're going to send you some sample episodes. If you found this video helpful, like the video, subscribe. We are trying to accomplish a milestone of 50,000 subscribers by the end of December of 2020. So you subscribing to the channel will be very helpful and I will really appreciate it. Stay focused, stay productive, do good things for the world. And I'm looking forward to see you next time.